Hey everybody, this is an exciting look at a ZBrush hero character, exclusive to YouTube. So let's get into it. I'm going to use the move brush to move this simple sphere around and make it, I'm trying to create the stomach and chest area. Now I'm bringing down the shoulders to pull out the neck. Smooth things out a little bit. Always move around in your 3D scene, because if you stay fixed on a specific location or view, you do not have a full understanding of your entire 3D object. Okay, right here I'm pulling the back out a little bit. Now I'm going down towards the stomach area, increasing its Dynamesh resolution to 424, giving me 292,000 active points. Now I'm pulling out the shoulders, and I'm always rotating around to get a better understanding of what I'm working on. Now I'm trying to flatten out his frontal area just to go for the shape I'm looking for. Okay, zoom back, rotate. Now I'm working on his stomach, and changing your Z intensity is very, very powerful, because you can use your inflate brush at 100% Z intensity and just, explode your geometry outwards in all directions. Sometimes that's good when you're working on certain things, but when you're really trying to pay attention to your model and you don't want it to, fall apart and things like that, using being mindful of your Z intensity is optimal. Okay, now I switch to the clip curve brush to slice his neck region, so I can have just to, pull out his neck. Okay, now pulling his shoulders out, and I'm going to use the same clip curve brush to create the beginning of his arms. Okay, I like the way that looks. Everything's coming together nicely. Always rotate around, because when you place several brush strokes on your object in one view, you're gonna think that it's perfect, but if you rotate around, it could be horribly wrong, or I don't know, not the look you're shooting for. Okay, now I'm trying to pull out his the shoulders, his arms. Okay, then pull things out. Nice. The move brush is very, very handy. Okay, now this growing character started out from just a simple sphere, and this isn't rocket science. You just, you've got to tweak it and play with it and always look at it in as many views as you can. Okay, rotate around. His neck's looking good. The front of his body's looking good. Now I'm going to turn on polyframe just to get a better look at what polys are, where. Okay, now I'm using the clip curve brush to create the beginning of his legs. Nice. Use the inflate brush to pull his lower back out. Okay. Rotate around, make sure everything looks good. Nice. Okay, so if you ever get lost in creating something, sometimes it's nice to just mess around and like inflate things beyond recognition like this, just to stretch your imagination and just have fun. If you get really focused on your project, it could really make things difficult because you're trying to be too perfect, and then every brush stroke you lay down has to be rethought and calculated, and it gets overwhelming sometimes. Turn polyframe on, look at everything, how everything is turning out. Okay, looks nice. Now I'm going to pull out his chest area just a little bit, so I'm switching back to the inflate brush. Probably too much. Okay, rotate to the side, undo a few times. So I build up without any alphas on, just to pull out his chest area just a little bit, and then move brush to move any areas that do not look natural. Nice. I'm liking the way this is turning out. He doesn't go to the gym every day, but he's definitely a human. Okay, now I look back, everything's looking nice, and now I'm thinking of moving on to the next step. So, let's see. To make this complete, he has to have some type of belly button. Doesn't have to look perfect. I'm just, using the blob brush real quick, and then move brush to make it look like a natural stomach. Ta-da! Okay, that's done. Now, let's turn on polyframe mode and zoom in to his upper neck area, at the base of his neck, and zoom in real close, and let's mask out just his neck. Yeah, we're going to use some edge loops soon. Now you can use the masked brush to mask out certain areas, and that might take a long time. So what I'm doing is using the mask circle, which you can get depending on whatever you're trying to mask. You can get different results by using the mask circle brush. Now normally this mask shape would have taken a long time with just the brush, but I was able to get that out pretty quick. Now I'm going to rotate around and make sure that my mask is not anywhere else. Okay, I thought that was going to happen, so let's unmask that. So Control Alt, click and drag. Okay, I got rid of that mask, and now let's probably go back to polyframe just so we can see this clearly. Now in geometry edge loop, click edge loop masked border, and that gives you another masked region. Then group loops, which makes it a clean surface. I've bumped that up to 8 times, so there are 8 little cuts in the area, or in that line right there. So I don't have to worry about, I don't know, the shape it made. One nice thing about using an edge loop masked border is it changes all of your subtools. Okay, so now I'm using the masked circle again, mostly because the shoulder is circular, or the area I'm trying to mask out. I've got to rotate around so it doesn't look all, or the mask doesn't like go all over the place. Select. Okay, looking good. This would have taken forever with the masked brush. You can lay down strokes pretty quick, but I don't know, if you have a circular masked area that you need to mask out, using this mask circle is definitely the way to go. It's a lot easier. Nice. Okay, so I'm almost done with the masking of his arm, and I've got symmetry on, so it will have both sides masked, which is very convenient. Okay, so yeah, see, the other arm is masked. Now I'm just unmasking the areas I don't want for the arms. Okay, it's done. Now let's do the same thing. Let's zoom up and go to edge loop masked border, changing all the colors of our object. Okay, and then group loops 8 times to create that fine line that it made. Okay, now we need to focus on the legs. So zoom in, or just, okay, yeah, zoom in, and I'm going to use the mask circle again because this is definitely faster. So much fun creating this. If you were making a video game or a movie with like 1,000 soldiers or trolls or something like that, you could use this body that we've got, and you can probably go to Decimation Master and reduce the poly count, and then make this a insert mesh brush, so you can reuse this as many times as you need to, and then quickly, pull whatever arms and legs out you needed for your characters. Okay, like the mask I've got, unselect everything else, and then zoom in and edge loop masked border again. Okay, changes all the colors. Group loops, which makes that nice line or border. Okay, unselect everything. Get out of polyframe mode. Move things around. Look at our whole scene, and now we can select each area just by clicking the move tool and holding down Control and clicking on each area. So we can click on the stomach and chest area, and then click outside of the object to select everything else to pull everything out at once. Okay, so now let's make our superhero arms. I'm just trying to get the general shape of my character's arms and legs and head, because then I can go in later and use all the powerful tools in ZBrush to make this character more sophisticated if I need to. So I'm holding down Control and I've got the move tool selected right now, but you hold down Control and then drag out to create more polygons. Okay, I've got the arms and legs. Now I'm working on the feet. Just pulling shapes out right now. Smoothing things a little bit. Okay, move out. Take a look at our character. Move those legs down a little bit to make it look natural. Here's our hero. Now let's zoom in on the feet. And I noticed that trying to edge loop mask or masked out border, edge loop mask border this area didn't work for me well right now because it did some crazy things to the arms. Oh, I'm sorry. Edge loop mask border worked fine, but when I group loops, that looks decent, but everything else seemed to smooth out in a weird fashion, so I undid everything. Trying to pull the feet out a little bit right here. Zoom out, look at my mesh. Yeah, this is, the arms went all crazy and stuff. And I guess, I don't know, that's nice, but I was not trying to go for that look. So I was not entirely sure why that happened, so I undid everything until it looked like that again, and then just moved on. Yeah. Did it again just to verify, and that was the cost, so I undid that and just looked at my model in polyframe, selecting just the hands, and then edge loop mask border. So the hands and the feet are separate from everything else. Okay, there's our character. And now let's use Yeah. Now let's use see-through mode to create the hero's head. So we switch over to Photoshop to make sure our hero character's head is in the right position, and then switch to ZBrush, move it around accordingly, and then select just the neck area and pull things out accordingly. Scale things down, move it around just right. I did this a few times just so the head had enough geometry that I could sculpt later. Okay, I've got the hero's head all done, and now I'm going to turn see-through mode off, zoom out, and look at my hero. I can use this hero for other projects or just practice. And there's my hero character. I'm not sure what happened back here in the head. Probably when I was moving the head geometry up, the line that I was working from was not entirely straight. So as the head goes up, it was probably moving in towards itself, and I don't know. Doesn't matter. I can remesh that at a later point.